Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of Ginosko Conversations with Toyin. And I'm here again, and I just want to share, as usual, something exciting, something useful from the Bible. And today, I want to share around the topic of the purpose of leadership. The purpose of leadership, yeah. Of course, we know in the Bible, Jesus was saying that leaders, you shouldn't lord it over the people who are put on under your care. Rather you should serve them, right? Yeah, we know about that. But I discovered something interesting in the Bible as I was reading through the book of Exodus, and it struck me, and I was like, wow, I think I should share that. And it's basically the purpose of leadership. And this story comes from the point where the Israelites had left Egypt, and they were on the way to the promised land as God had told them. And Moses had to go up the mountain to get instructions from God, because these were a new set of people, right? And he had to give them instructions on how they were going to live, how they were going to relate with him, and all that in this brand new relationship that they were starting out. And Moses was away for 40 days, right? And then what happened? The people began to complain and all that. And Aaron, succumbed to their wishes, and he built a calf for them, right? And everything that happened. And you know what God said to Moses was really, really interesting. In Exodus chapter chapter 32, verse 25. The Bible says that Moses saw that Aaron had let the people go completely out of control, much to the amusement of their enemies. Wow, for me, that just struck me as Aaron had dropped the ball. Moses had gone up the mountain and put Aaron in charge of the people, while he was away. And what did Moses say? Aaron had let the people go completely out of control. And that just struck me as that is the purpose of leadership. Leadership was created to keep the people in control. Now, that doesn't mean lording it over people, but what it means is that the leader is the person that bears and carries the vision. And the purpose of leadership is to ensure that every resource, whether human, whether financial, material, intellectual, whatever kind of resource, is geared, is focused, right, towards fulfilling the purpose, the aim, the goal for that leadership. It might be an organization, it may be a family, whatever endeavor. It is the leader's job to control the people, to cause them to focus and achieve the goal. That struck me. I don't know if it sounds like something important to you, but absolutely it is. Further, we look at Exodus chapter 31, verse 11. Another powerful purpose of leadership says that this comes out of when God had told Moses that he had chosen Bezalel, he had chosen Aholiab, to support the work of actually building, implementing the temple, the tabernacle. So Moses had gotten the template right from God. God had instructed him, this is exactly what you need to do it exactly as I say. But guess what? God now chose craftsmen that would actually do the work, because Moses wasn't the craftsman, right? But he was giving the instructions of what must be done. And then in verse 31, in chapter 31, verse 11b, we read, the craftsmen must make everything as I have commanded you. Wow, that is some food for thought there. Listen to it. It says, God speaking to Abraham and to Moses now. God speaking to Moses says, the craftsmen must make everything as I have commanded you. Now that statement is so loaded, but what it tells us again is reinforcing the fact that the leader must keep the people under control. The craftsmen must build according to what God showed Moses. So if anything goes wrong, God is going to hold Moses, right? Because you are to direct the craftsmen to do what I told you to do. Do you see it? So Moses got the command, Moses got the vision, Moses got the templates, but now God is giving him the craftsmen that will help him to achieve the purpose, but he must keep them in control. Wow. Wow, for me, that was a light bulb moment. So that means, for example, that no matter how talented the craftsmen were, they couldn't just go off and do their own thing. No, they had to do it as Moses instructed them according to the vision that God had shown him. Wow, so you may be more talented than the leader, as a good follower, it is your prerogative to follow the leader's direction because he is the one that is the custodian of the vision. Interestingly, we see the same pattern in the New Testament. The Apostle Paul was speaking to Titus in Titus 1:5, and he says, "This is why I left you in Crete, so that you might put what remained into order and appoint elders in every town as I directed you." Wow. Don't you just love the Bible? Like God says something, said in the mouth of two or three witnesses, let everything be established. So this is an established fact that the role of leadership is to control the people. You cast the vision and you make sure that everyone focuses on that vision. Here is the Apostle Paul reminding Titus that, look, I didn't just leave you in Crete to have a ball. I didn't leave you in Crete to just do what you feel like doing. No, there's a purpose. I left you there to put what remained in order. That's that control again. And then appoint elders in every town as I commanded you, as I directed you. So you see that leadership is all about holding on to that vision, the purpose for which you were called as a leader, and then directing all the resources at your disposal to accomplish that vision. Wow. Dear friends, so if you're a leader, a vision has been delivered to you because leadership is all about accomplishing a purpose, accomplishing a task. Some vision has been delivered to your hand, and whoever delivered it to you, and in this case God has delivered visions to you, he wants you to execute it exactly as it is, using all the resources at your disposal. So pray that you enjoy grace on your leadership journey. Of course, leadership starts with leading yourself. So we are all leaders in one way or the other. So we enjoy grace on our leadership journey as we control all the resources to achieve exactly what God has directed us to achieve. See you on the next podcast. It's Tony and it's Ginosko with Tony. God bless. Bye.